Okay, the question is: a team of rich business people will be visiting the International Space Station soon. They plan to carry an information pack with other visitors from other planets, which they could use to learn more about the Earth and its movement and seasons. You have been appointed as the research assistant in that company that is taking the business people. My task is to prepare an information and package for the team, which they will use for sensitization in the public. Be sure to include a well illustrated explanation of why the Earth is unique in the solar system with a well labeled landscape sketch of a photograph taken either by yourself or from other sources showing two physical features and two human features. Include a well illustrated explanation with diagrams on why the Earth has different seasons and how the seasons affect the activities on Earth. Right over there is the Earth. The green parts are the continents and the blue parts are the water bodies. One of the things that make the Earth quite different from other planets and why the Earth is unique in the solar system is that the Earth is the only planet confirmed to have life in the solar system. The solar system is a gravitationally bound system of the Sun and the objects that orbit it. The other reason is the Earth is the only planet in the solar system orbited by one moon. And the Earth is the only planet with moderate temperatures. The temperatures on Earth are really moderate compared to those of Mercury, which are really, really high, and those of other planets. And Earth is the third planet to orbit the Sun. Earth orbits the Sun after a planet called Venus. Another thing that makes Earth different from other planets is that one full revolution made by the Earth around the Sun takes 365 and a quarter days. Revolution of the Earth is a movement of the Earth around the Sun along its orbit. The Earth has four different seasons that are caused due to revolution of the Earth. On the left of the diagram shown, the southern hemisphere is experiencing summer solstice, whereas the northern hemisphere is experiencing winter solstice, which are two of them. The rest are spring and autumn equinox. And on the right, the southern hemisphere is experiencing winter solstice, whereas the northern hemisphere is experiencing summer. On the left, it's because the southern hemisphere is exposed, the sun rays are direct to it, and the northern hemisphere is facing away from the sun. And to the right, it's because the southern hemisphere is facing away from the sun, whereas the northern hemisphere is facing the sun. This happens on days. The winter is experienced in the northern hemisphere from December 21st or 22nd to March 21st or 22nd. And the same happens in the southern hemisphere where it's experiencing summer from December 21st or 22nd to March 21st, 20th or 21st. And on your right, summer is being experienced in the northern hemisphere and winter is being experienced in the southern hemisphere. Summer is being experienced in the northern hemisphere from June 21st or 22nd to September 20th or 21st, whereas winter is being experienced in the southern hemisphere from from June 21st or 22nd to September 20th or 21st. Whenever summer is being experienced in the northern hemisphere, winter is being experienced in the southern, and vice versa. So then we move to the north, like I'll call them the north and south of the diagram, up and down. So in the north of the diagram, as I call it, um, the southern hemisphere is experiencing spring equinox and the northern is experiencing autumn equinox, whereas in the south of the diagram, the northern is experiencing spring equinox, whereas the south is experiencing autumn equinox. So why they experience autumn and spring is because like the north and the south are both exposed to the sun, so they experience autumn and spring equinox. The northern hemisphere is experiencing autumn and the southern is experiencing spring. What makes autumn is because like it's more of a it's actually a transition from summer to winter, whereas spring it's a transition from winter to summer, so that's why it's quite different. And that's the same that applies to the north of the diagram, where spring equinox is being experienced by the northern hemisphere, whereas autumn equinox is being experienced in the southern hemisphere. In the north of the diagram, um, in the northern hemisphere, autumn equinox is being experienced from September 21st or 22nd to December 20th or 21st. That's the same when spring equinox in the north of the diagram in the southern hemisphere is being experienced. Then in the south of the diagram, the spring equinox is being experienced in the northern hemisphere from March 20th or 21st to June 20th or 21st. That's the same time when autumn equinox in the southern hemisphere in the south of the diagram is being experienced. Well, yeah, and the different characteristics that you can see in the diagram above. Let's start with summer solstice. In summer solstice, temperatures are high. Apart from temperatures being high, summer solstice has longer days than nights, meaning nights are shorter. And then winter solstice, temperatures are really cold, they're below 0 degrees Celsius, and nights are longer than days, so the days are shorter. Then in autumn equinox, it's more of like, okay, it's a transition. Like in the earlier diagram I had said, it's a transition from summer to winter. Temperatures keep decreasing each day, that's why it's also called fall. Then in autumn, leaves stop making chlorophyll. Then days and nights are equal. Though as days pass, since it's a transition from summer to winter, the days start becoming shorter than the nights, because it's a transition from summer to winter. Like it's getting you prepared from summer, then you go into winter. Of which, as we had said, winter, the days in winter are really short, so I think that's the actual reason why the days start becoming short. Then in spring equinox, like it's a transition from winter to summer. Then temperatures keep increasing each day. Each day that passes by. This is because it's from winter to summer. So the more you get to summer, they keep increasing. Then when we finally get to summer, they're really high. Then plants begin to regain their leaves from winter, because winter would have killed, like, all their leaves would have changed, no more leaves, and their flowers also begin to spring. Then the days and nights are equal, but as days pass by, okay, like as the days pass by, the nights start becoming longer than days, since it has transitioned from winter to summer, and the summer days are longer than the nights. I think that's the actual reason why spring equinox days keep becoming longer than the nights. I'm pretty sure you must be asking yourself, how come Uganda does not have these seasons? So the reason is Uganda is crossed by the equator. As you can see in that diagram right over there, the equator is completely, and its earth is like exposed to the sun. So Uganda is in that category. It's crossed by the equator. It's like places crossed by the equator are always exposed to the sun. So, and it's like neither in the southern nor northern hemisphere. So it just has rainy and sunny. So the diagram before are an overview of the earth. Then this is how a particular place looks like. I chose Uganda. Uganda has no winter, no summer, no autumn, no spring. So this is how it looks like. The natural, the physical features. Sorry, the tree, the horizon, the soil, the sky. Then the human features, the house, the the planted grass and also the house that is being built in the background. So if it was for winter people would be wearing wool clothes since it's really cold, and they'd be wearing light clothes in summer since it would be really hot. So then in autumn they would not be too woolen but kind of woolen since it's a transition from summer to winter. And in spring they would also be wearing kind of light clothes. It is because it's a transition from winter to summer, so the temperatures will be increasing day by day. In summer, there will be irrigation farming, whereas in winter there will not be any kind of farming. And in spring is when actually farming is like practiced most. Then then in autumn, I'd say harvesting is done, especially of pumpkins. So that's how winter looks like. Leaves, trees lose their leaves except for evergreen trees. So no farming can be done. It's really cold. Plants even can't grow. Then for the summer is really hot. Plants need enough water to grow. That's why irrigation farming is carried out in summer. Then in autumn, the temperatures are decreasing and the leaves are also falling off. So it's a perfect time for harvesting because as winter comes, the plant will stop growing. So I think it's the perfect time for autumn is a perfect time for harvesting. Then for planting, spring is the actual perfect time for planting because temperatures are moving from very cold to kind of high but not so high. So it's the perfect time for planting crops. And it's also when flowers begin to spring.